Nothing is quite as lovely as the holiday season, am I right? Cold days, mugs of hot chocolate, maybe the family gathering around a tree or a beautiful, warm, cozy fireplace. It just sounds magical, doesn't it? That is, until you start to think about all the work it's going to take to make that happen. And holiday decor clutter is definitely something that can bring the joy in the season down. So today, let's talk about how you can tackle that holiday decor and just have a more simple holiday season. Now, some context. I wasn't born a declutter expert, and I'm not by nature actually very organized. And so I used to have so much clutter, and holiday decor was no exception. In fact, I remember having around 8 bins, probably at our peak of having holiday decor. And I remember every year I was buying more things that I loved and I thought were so cute every time I was at Target. And before I knew it, my 2 bins went to 4, my 4 bins went to 6, my 6 bins went to 8. It got really overwhelming. And I honestly probably had way more decor than I could even fit comfortably in this house. And one big mistake that I made, and I see a lot of people make, is that in order to make your home feel cozy and festive, a lot of people think the solution is to add more. And I'm telling you what, one day in the living room several years ago, after I had just schlepped 8 bins of heavy holiday decor up into my living room, I'm pretty sure I pulled a hamstring that day. It was not fun. And as I'm there standing looking to these bins and nursing my messed up hamstring, I had a realization. I can have a festive, cozy home without 8 bins of holiday decor clutter. And I realized in that moment, it's just about having a few of the right thing versus continually adding more. And so one way to reduce holiday decor clutter and achieve this cozy holiday themed house, which is what a lot of people want for the holidays, we want that coziness, that festivity, is to simply swap out items that are displayed in your home probably the majority or the rest of the year for just some more holiday inspired pieces. And yes, I know this is so simple, but I didn't understand it till I was like 32. So I know this is going to help some of you out there. It's a powerful mindset shift. And here are some ideas. Number 1, vases. If you have vases sitting out year round, maybe you have a few holiday vases. So put the ones that are out the rest of the year in storage and pull out some of the holiday themed ones. Maybe they have a pop of color to them, some red, some green, some gold, some silver. That's like an instant festivity, like facelift to your house. I love it. And it's so simple, and it's not adding to, it's instead of. People do this with pillows, pillow shams. If you don't want to swap out a whole pillow, maybe you just get a pillow sham to go over a pillow that has a snowflake on it or some type of symbol that symbolizes your favorite part of the holidays. You can also do this with throw blankets. I think a lot of us, including me, I have 2 throw blankets that we live with the majority of the year. And in the winter, I'm going to swap out one of them for a slightly heavier kind of faux fur blanket that gives my living room an instant feeling of like warmth and coziness and more of that wintry feel, which I love. Pictures in frames. My guess is that you have some pictures on the wall. Did you ever consider swapping out the picture inside of it? Do it. Maybe you have some holiday prints you can get printed off from Christmas years ago when your babies were little. Put that in there with the snow in the background or in front of the tree, whatever ones you have. Maybe your kids are budding artists and you have some pictures on the fridge or in a frame in the living room. Swap those out for more seasonal ones, or you can find an image, buy an image online for a couple bucks, get it printed, and have this beautifully framed wintry seasonal picture that all of a sudden makes your home feel a little more festive. You can swap out candle colors. You can swap out candle scents. You get the idea. Another thing I absolutely love to do is do this with our TV. So normally our TV, when it's off, like any TV, is a big black box that is uninspiring. And our TV sits right above our mantle and it's not pretty. It's blah. And so I learned from my good friend, Tasha Agruso. She was on my podcast earlier this year. She's an interior design expert and like an amazing DIY person when it comes to interior design. And we talked about how to put a screensaver on the TV. Most smart TVs do this. You don't have to go buy an expensive frame TV. I know those are beautiful and stunning, but they're really expensive. Most smart TVs have the capacity to put a screensaver on there. Now, for the life of me, I could not figure out how to do it on my TV, but you know what I did? My TV has YouTube on it. So I went to YouTube and I type wintry nature scenes. And guess what? There's a video on there that's like a 2-hour loop of drone footage flying through Banff, Canada, the Swiss Alps, and all these beautiful wintry scenes across the world. And it is so peaceful. It is so relaxing. And I actually love how it's a video instead of just a still shot. It is one of my favorite things. Anytime I get up from my desk right here and I walk past, I just kind of stand there and like drool. And I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And so that's a really cool aspect too. It does, because it's a YouTube video, it does have some like nature music on, which is really relaxing in the background. Or if I have guests over, I just mute the TV and then I have just beautiful wintry wonderland playing in the background. And I also do this in the summertime. You can do this any time of year. So take advantage of YouTube, take advantage of Screensaver if you have that on your smart TV, and use your TV to help bring in that festive, cozy feeling. We can make a huge difference in how our home feels with literally just swapping out a few things. Even 5 to 10 is plenty. After I realized this idea of swapping out made a big difference in my home, I started kind of going down the rabbit hole and doing some more research. And I discovered a concept called, how I'm pretty sure it's pronounced, Hygge, Hygge. If you've spent any time on Pinterest, you may have discovered it. Basically it's a Danish and Norwegian concept that revolves around the life and feeling of coziness, connection with loved ones, and pleasure. And it's kind of evolved since then in some ways to a decor style, and it's focused on contentment and comfort. And I think those are two really important things to lean into really all year round, but especially during the holiday season. So Pinterest has so many different ideas for how to decorate with the style in mind. Now, the style isn't going to be for everyone, but there are some key takeaways I learned from it that you need to know that's going to help you simplify your holiday decor. And number one is this. It was a complete aha moment to me. I was like, why didn't I ever think about that? Bring the outdoors in. Okay, so head outside, put on your parka, strap on your winter boots, and go outside, get some fresh, cold air, and find some things in nature that you can bring in to decorate with. Pine cones can make a beautiful centerpiece to a table. So maybe you swap out something that's on a table, that's in a bowl, and throw some pine cones in there. If you want to get fancy, you can spray paint them with gold and silver. In fact, my husband got married on December 23rd, 11 years ago, I think it is. And I did not want red and green in our wedding. I was like, no, silver and gold. Okay. And so my mom did this for our wedding decorations too. Instead of going out to Hobby Lobby and all these stores, which are so expensive, she literally went out in her backyard, drove around to different parks where she lives to find pine cones and these different beautiful willow branches and all these things. She spray painted them gold and silver. And voila, that was about 80% of our wedding decor was basically free. Do the same thing with Christmas decor. Branches, beautiful branches can go in a vase, right? Maybe a vase you've already swapped out, put some branches in there. You can make do-it-yourself natural wreaths to go on your front door or inside your home. Dried fruit garland for a mantle. It looks beautiful. It adds such interest without being just too much. And another classic, just timeless thing to have in a home are evergreen branches. So you can create garland and, it's greenery. You can put that on a staircase railing. You can put it on a mantle. Really, the sky's the limit. Here's what I love about this. There is little to no cost, and it's eco-friendly. When you're done with it, you return it back to where you got it, right? To nature. And you don't have to store these things year round. So there's like 50% or more of your holiday decor, like you just don't need. You can go out each year and get new items from nature. It's a really awesome thing. And I actually just did this the other day with my sons. We took a walk outside after dinner one night. I had a bag for branches to go into and my pruning shears. We walked in the woods and I found this beautiful shrub that I just decided to try it out. So I cut some branches off of it, and that's what's happening in my corner vase back there now. I love it. So I replaced the artificial branches in there that were very spring and summery and could be fine all year round. But this, I like the greenery effect. It's kind of wild and fun and exciting. And honestly, we had a really good time exploring outside in the woods. I can totally see how this is going to become a tradition for us for years to come. Maybe you've seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, one of our favorite movies. We watch it every Christmas. And when they go out to cut down the Christmas tree and he forgets the axe. So, that's like one of the funniest scenes when they have the whole tree on the rooftop with the roots attached to it. Now, you don't have to go cut down a tree or pull a tree down by its roots to make this a tradition, but take the kids out, take your partner outside, go see what you can find. And creating those memories and having this to look forward to every single year is a really awesome thing. You can look up really easy tutorials online to how to create a lot of these DIY nature-focused decor pieces, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I think the joy in learning something new with your family and including them, it's just awesome. I love it. By the way, does anyone else remember popcorn garland? I remember making that quite a few years when I was a kid, and the memories just make me smile. I mean, look at me. Honestly, the most fun I had outside of making it was eating it. I probably ate more popcorn than I put on the string. Just really simple things like that, right? An edible holiday decor piece is what popcorn garland is. So maybe you can use foods and oranges and things like dried oranges for that dried fruit idea I threw your way. I mean, sometimes I think just thinking outside the box can be really fruitful. I love it. I love it. Plus, I think when we're incorporating a lot of these natural themes, it's kind of a nod to how things used to be. I mean, really not that long ago. So with this Scandinavian concept, your home, the focus is on how it feels rather than just how it looks. But think about what other textures would feel best for you to add that coziness to your home and in a variety of elements. So that could be, again, candles, add in so much warmth. Maybe if you don't have a working fireplace, you could throw in some battery operated candles. Just lighting different lights adds so much warmth. Again, it's these really simple, underrated solutions, people, okay? You don't have to just keep buying more. I promise you, you're gonna love your home so much more with less decor. Cozy blankets, like I mentioned, soft slippers, and now I'm getting ready for sleepy time. I'm tired now. Okay, so let's talk about decluttering what you already have, because I can't get through one video without talking about it. So let's say, like me, you are just overflowing with holiday decor. Where do you start? So I love to start by creating a physical boundary. So if you currently have, like I did, 8 bins of holiday decor, think about a new physical boundary that you want to use as your limit for holiday decor. So do you want to knock that down from 8 bins to 6 or 8 bins to 4? What's your new limitation? And the idea is you don't let it grow beyond that limitation. Sure, there's flexibility with these physical boundaries, but I think there's also a time and place, the majority of the time, where you need to be firm with it. And one way to do that after you declutter and knock it down to, say, 4 bins is to have a 1 in, 1 out rule. That's assuming your 4 bins are mostly filled. So when you buy something new, you get rid of something. It's that easy. If we don't do that, guess what's going to happen? We're going to continue to accumulate too much stuff. So stick to that rule. Once you have it, it's going to do you a world of good. And as far as what to declutter, always start with the superficial clutter, the broken, the excess, the unused. If it is sitting at the bottom of a bin, chances are it's at the bottom of a bin because it hasn't been used or pulled out for the last few seasons. Maybe your style and aesthetics have changed. Maybe you've moved over the last few years and what fit the aesthetics of one home doesn't fit the aesthetics of your new home. Maybe you just downsized in recent years and you don't have the space for everything that you used to set out. So as you are pulling things out from the bottom of those bins, instead of leaving them in there and procrastinating and saying you'll handle it next holiday season, tackle it now. And here are some great questions to ask yourself. Have I used this in the past season? I never went past 2 seasons. If I haven't decorated with it in the last 2 holiday seasons, it was an automatic out of my house. So 1 to 2 seasons max when you ask yourself that question. Number 2, does this fit the aesthetic of my home? If I saw this at the store today, would I be like, I have to have this? If I saw it at my friend's house, would I be like, oh, I love this. I just need to have it. I just love it. If the answer is no, let it go. Number 3, if I were to display this, would it make my home feel cluttered? Like, do I actually have the space for this? Or am I just setting it out and shoving it into the living room for the sake of displaying it when really, I don't even really like it that much, or it's just too much? And I urge you, once you finish decorating, sit down in your space, let's say it's the living room, and just pay attention to how you feel. Sit down on your couch, sink in, enjoy yourself. Take a second and pause and look around. Is there too much? Can you maybe make some more white space? There are a few pieces you could put away or donate, or maybe you just decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to replace these 6 pieces right here with some natural elements and go get new natural elements each year. Make a tradition out of it. This time of year, the holiday season, is another time I love to incorporate sentimental items. So if you have pieces that have been collecting dust in box, now could be a great time to go through a few of those sentimental items and see if you could display them. Maybe it's something so simple as a picture, a framed picture you put on your mantle for the season to remember someone or remember a memory. So now's a great time to do that too. So I typically tend to reorganize at the end of the holiday season as I'm putting things away. I'll take everything off the tree. I'll take everything off the door, anything that was hung up, and put them in different piles, right? Stockings, general Christmas decorations, wrapping paper, outdoor decor, nativity sets, all those different things. And then you're going to keep like-minded things, group those together. Because when you have everything in organized piles, it's really clear what size containers you need, but just try and use what you've got. I definitely love the larger totes. And I can promise you, after going through this video and implementing a lot of these things, you're probably going to have like 4 or 5 totes you can donate after this whole process because your holiday decor is going to be simplified. And then, of course, remember to label the outside. You can use a label maker. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it's really helpful to be able to see when you're seeking out these holiday decor pieces, when it's time to decorate, what's in that bin at a glance. I just rip out a piece of like notebook paper and use a Sharpie and write what's in there. It doesn't have to be fancy, but if you want it to be, go on with your bad self. So to recap, determine what's a new reasonable amount of holiday seasonal decor for you and your family and the home you're in right now, and stick to that limitation. 4, 5, 6 bins, 2 bins, 1 bin, you name it. Add in some natural elements from nature. Swap out some normal decor for some seasonal touches. Warmer blankets, photos, holiday candles, and don't forget your TV. And consider displaying some sentimental items in unique ways. Enjoying the holidays clutter-free doesn't have to be a dream. It can be your reality. And if you want to keep that clutter-free vibe going, click that video on your screen right now.